Hey fellas, it's 265 Chevy here, 2-car garage. Alright, today we're going to be, today's Sunday, I think the 2nd, or near the 2nd, November 2nd. It's a John carry days in the afternoon. Pretty day. Nice and cool. We're going to do the input shaft. We're going to do the front shaft. We're going to take it apart to the assembly video, whatever. Alright, you can already see that I already pressed the bearing out. So this comes off, like so. And they got roller bearings that would be up in there. Okay. Now what you see here is a bearing, and then a shim. Okay, just very important, this shim right here always goes against the hub. The bearing runs on the shim. Okay, so then the bearing would run up in here. So if you put this backwards, if you put the bearing first, then the shim, which the guy on the video said, which a lot of people do, they put the bearing and then they put the shim. The bearing's going to eat, it's going to mess up the this flat surface right here. So the shim goes first, then the bearing. Now that's correct. That's how you do it. Alright, so we're going to be taking this apart. Show you the steps on how to take. Okay, well, I just lost the shim, and then this comes out. This is trash. That one comes in a kit. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, so this is called a Torrington bearing, and this is called the shim. So just like I said before, right when I started off, that shim has to run on the hub right here, and then the bearing goes on top of the shim. Just wanted to clarify that, because I went and looked at the video again, which you can see going step by step by this guy. That's pretty much what he said. And then you take off this hub right here. You know, you take that hub off, and let me see how I get that off. I'll be back. Okay, I removed the 3/4 slider, which is this. And if you look around there, you see how those 3 keyways are different? Okay, so the middle one would go slide right on that key. There's 3. If you look around on the slider, there's 3 of them like that. And then also the slider's the flat side goes towards the bottom. So the oval edge goes towards the top. See how the oval and you got the flat? So that goes on there just like that. So that comes off. And then we gotta take these key rings off, which looks like they have like a little ring inside here. And we'll pop off the ring, and these little keyways will come out. And then we're gonna have to press this ring off by pressing underneath this gear or this gear right here, and this will push it right on off by using a press. So I'll be right back. Okay, I can see here that I went over there and got the hub pressed off. So the hub comes off, and behind it you have a synchronizer spring. You have one up front right here. And on the assembly, we'll see how this goes, but if you can see here, just kind of give you all a little tips before we even get to the assembly part. See how that right there has like a little tit, and it goes this way? So if you would put that one, the other one on, you'd want to put the tit on the same side, but you would want to run it the opposite way. Okay, so this goes like that, and then it would go like that. You can see the tit, it's on one side, running left to right, and then if you see the tit on that side, it's running right to left. So that's how that goes. So, no for any wear, looks good. So, that's the synchronizer hub, that's off. Then you pull off synchronizer. And then you pull off, I think this is third gear. And we'll check it all out. Looks good, third gear looks good. So you kind of keep them together. You know. See how I put everything in line. And then, you know, after we get it all apart, then we're gonna, and then here's a bearing. The bearing comes off. That bearing's gonna be replaced. Even though this bearing really looks pretty darn good, truthfully. I mean, all the parts up in here really don't look that bad. They had a few little problems, but it looks like overall the transmission's pretty good. Yeah, all that looks nice. And there's another small retainer. Same thing. You pretty much remember the bearing rods on that. Pretty much in this transmission, all the bearings ride on a retainer. You know, but I'll make sure that to look at all the videos and make sure that if there's one that don't, I'll say that it don't. So that goes off, the retainer, and then the bearing goes on top of it, just like that. And now we got there's a see there? There's a what do you call those things? Lock well, let me make sure that I'm on the right procedure. I'm gonna look at a little bit more of the video, and then I'll tell you what it is because you'll say it. All right, fellas, I'll be back. Bye. Okay, what I want to show you, it's called a snap ring. I don't know all the terms of these pieces, fellas, so I'm very sorry if I can't, you know, tell you exactly what the name of these things are. That's why I would recommend, if you buy the kit, to buy the video with it. And, you know, it's pretty much self-explanatory. He's a lot better instructed than I am. But this is a snap ring. But if you see how the snap ring is, there's two sides to the snap ring. There's a side that goes out, and you flip it over, the side that goes down. So you always want to put the side that the snap ring pliers is easy to get to. You know, see, you know, I can't really do this with one hand, but see how the snap ring pliers can fit right up in there, and it's easy to grab. If you flip it on the other side, the snap ring pliers has a hard time grabbing the thin side. It's like it's made, like I said, on a V on both of the snap rings on both sides. So I really don't know the name of the kit or whatever, but so you really need to put these snap rings back in place right. If you need to take it apart again, it's going to be a pain in the ass to get off, or if somebody else needs to do the transmission, it'll be a pain in the ass to get off. So you take the snap ring off, which almost got it off, and then these pieces will come right off. So let me take this off, and I'll pull these pieces off, and I'll bring you back. Bye. Okay, now you pull off, okay, took off the retaining, the snap ring, which is here. Then right on top of there you had a, okay, you had a washer. So then you take off the washer. Now you want to make sure everything fits down, because if the snap ring don't fit into that groove real nice and easy, then you know something ain't right till you put it back together. So you take off the washer. and I think this is second gear, and it is. Alright, there's another cage bearing in second gear, and we have another, washer. And what that washer is for is what the guy's saying, that the cage bearing rods on the washer so it don't mess up the plastic of the cage bearing. So that's why the washer's there. So we have a washer here, and then we had a washer here with a cage bearing, here with a washer. So always make sure you put the washer on the bottom so the cage bearing can rod in it. So what we're going to do with that, and we'll put that, that's how that goes. And there's another washer right there. Something I really never seen before. Let's see how they get that out, and then I'll bring you back and show you that. Be right back. Okay, the lock that holds on this washer is called a spiral lock. And actually it spirals on there like so. So what you got to do, you got to pull it out the little slot. And what I use, they say you can use a little small screwdriver, a little small one, but I use like a little pick. I took the pick out, got it out, and then you spiral it off. I don't know if I can do this with one hand or not. And boom, it comes off. So the spiral lock, so that goes there, and that holds on. Let me go look at more of the video, and I'll bring y'all back. Okay, so what he did was actually he took off, which is, you know, the bigger washer. Which is the bigger washer. That actually goes in there like so. And that goes there like so. And the bigger washer goes on there like so. So, you know, screw down. It's kind of hard doing everything with one hand, but, you know, take the bigger washer out. Hold on, let me get that out. And then, this is a 3-piece design. That comes out. And you see how that works. That goes in there like so. I'll tell you what, looks pretty good. So that goes like that, and that goes like that. Put that on there like so. And then we have, this needs to come off, and I'll bring you back. Okay, now we removed the 1-2 reverse slider, and it's got the 3 keys. So that popped off. Put that over here, and that just pops off like so, off the hub. Now we're going to replace this. This 1-2 reverse slider is pretty worn. You know, you got to figure first and reverse. Those teeth are pretty galled up, and we got a new one of those, so we're going to replace that. And got another Same thing. Retaining there goes up there. Okay, and this hub does not get pressed off. This hub always stays on. So we finished with the assembly of the top portion of this shaft. Now we're going to flip it over and we're going to take apart the bottom portion of this shaft. So, be right back. Okay, now we got the shaft flipped over. And we're going to have to remove this gear. And what you could do, some gears are not as tight as mine. So you got to remove this locker. I can never remember the name of that darn thing. Lock ring. You pull off the lock ring. Well, you can see I already got it somewhat off. And I'm going to have to use my press to get this off because he said that you can take a couple of pry bars, put it underneath, and try to pry it up very gently. But if it don't come, you're going to have to use some tonnage on your press to get it off. So he said that you can put and what I use is the bearing clothes. Put it on there. Put it underneath here, then press on there, and then press this off. So that's what we're going to go do now, and we're going to get this off. Alright, be back. Alright, fellas, went to the press, got it off. So you pull this off. And looking at this gear, you see how they got a beveled edge, and right over here you got a flat edge. The flat edge goes to the lock ring that we took off. So pretty much goes there. The lock ring goes on top of that on the shaft. Alright, so now we take off the bearing, which we'll replace, and then we'll take off the gear, which we're going to keep. Gears look good. It all needs to be washed, but everything looks good. Put it in one. Then we have another cage bearing, which comes off. And that cage bearing does not, oh yeah it does, or does it? No, that cage bearing don't have a retainer underneath it. Just sits on there. No retainer. Okay. So we'll throw the cage bearing up in there. There it goes. And then, same thing. Comes all the way up. And this comes out. Don't want to mess that up. See how they got a little slot right there? Goes right over this ball. And see if that ball's got to come out. Now this hub, remember, don't come out. Hub stays on there. So, but pretty much let me go see what he says about this ball bearing, if that comes out or not. I'll be right back. Okay. Got the ring that comes out of the hub. So that gets thrown over here. Which is a part that we're not going to reuse. And he said some shafts has a shaft. You can take a magnet to get it out, or they have a the newer shaft has a ball bearing, which mine does. You know, you could try to take it out, but I tell you what, it's really up in there. Don't look like it's moving. I think I'm gonna leave mine in there. That don't come with the kit. So the shaft is completely done. Hold on, put you down. Okay, so you see that when I put it in the vise, I made sure that I had some rags, because it's sitting right on, and you don't want to mess up this metal. And the shaft looks good. I'm going to clean this all up, wash everything down with mineral spirits, and put it back together. I don't know if I'm going to do that today, but if I do, I'll make another full set of videos for this. And we'll continue doing whatever. What I'm going to do is put a little HEF on here just to make sure that, you know, don't rust or whatever. And you know, one of the other things that they say to do is actually, which I could use here, use these, run the shaft on it, you know, like here and here, put a yoke on the end of the shaft and spin it and see how much, if the shaft is bent or anything. Well, for me, my transmission was working and it worked pretty well, so I'm pretty sure that this shaft is not bent. So I'm just going to skip that part, but it is in the video, and what I'm going to do is just going to clean it and everything. But if I do decide to do that, I will make a video of it. But right now, I don't see the purpose of doing that. You know, transmission is in pretty good shape. Everything seems to be working pretty decent. You know, I mean, had some problems with some bearings in this in that piece. So that's pretty much why I'm fixing the bearings on the bottom, which that's already done. You know, probably could have just bought the bearings, but I rebought the whole rebuilding kit. If I'm gonna have it apart, I'm gonna rebuild it. But this is not a how-to. This is something that's the first time me doing, and pretty much if you know, I'm willing to attempt it, I'm pretty sure that y'all could. Yeah, it's just taking your time. As you can see, I'm taking a lot of time doing this, you know. But I got 10,000 other things to do. So a lot of pieces and parts. You know, just look at the video. I definitely recommend buying that $10 video, and it's definitely worth having. I think it's $10. And we'll go from here. You definitely need to get some tools and everything to do this job. You know, press comes a lot with the press, but you know, we'll be using that for other jobs, so it's well worth it. All right, fellas, I'm gonna let y'all go. Y'all have a good night. Bye bye.